Today's video is for anyone who's looked at their goals lately and thought, I've fallen behind. I've messed everything up. I should be further along by now. I've wasted too much time. I don't even know where to start anymore. If that sounds similar, I want you to know something. You are not the only person who's had to change direction. In fact, course correcting is one of the most normal parts about being human, because life doesn't move in straight lines. Plans change. People change. Energy changes. Circumstances change. The version of you who set goals 6 months ago may have had different information, different needs, different priorities, and a completely different capacity than the version of you sitting here today. And that doesn't mean you failed. It means you're living a real life. So today we're talking about how to course correct without spiraling into shame. We'll talk about why we resist changing direction, the difference between accountability and self-judgment, letting go of unrealistic timelines, rebuilding trust with yourself, and how to move forward without treating yourself like a problem that needs fixing. And at the end, I'll give you practical action steps to help you reset with compassion. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's get into it. I think one of the biggest reasons people struggle to pivot is because we've been taught that consistency means never changing, that successful people stick to the original plan, always know where they're doing, never lose motivation, never question themselves, and never make mistakes. But if you look at real life, that's rarely true. People switch careers, leave relationships, change their minds, move cities, adjust priorities, discover new dreams, outgrow old versions of success. Adaptability isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Course correcting isn't proof that you failed. It's proof that you're paying attention. I think these two things get confused all the time. Accountability says, something isn't working, what can I learn from this? Self-judgment says, something isn't working because I am a failure. One creates curiosity, the other creates shame. Accountability focuses on behavior. Self-judgment attacks identity. For example, accountability. I overcommitted this month. I need to simplify. Self-judgment. I'm lazy and I'm incapable. Accountability. This routine doesn't fit my current season. Self-judgment. I never follow through. The way you speak to yourself matters because shame rarely creates sustainable change. Compassion often does. I think we sometimes become loyal to old goals that no longer fit who we are. Maybe you wanted something because it impressed other people, it felt expected, it matched an older version of you, it represented safety, or you simply didn't know yourself as well back then. And now you want something different. That doesn't make you inconsistent. It makes you honest. You're allowed to ask, do I still want this? And if the answer is no, you're allowed to choose again. Not every dream is meant to stay forever. I think many of us have invisible deadlines. We believe we should have figured everything out by now, reached certain milestones, healed faster, earned more, achieved more, become someone else entirely. And when reality doesn't match the timeline, we panic. But whose timeline was it? Was it yours? Or did it come from comparison? Society's expectations, social media, fear, other people's opinions. Your life isn't late, it's unfolding. And sometimes detours teach us things the original route couldn't. One of the hardest parts of starting over is self-trust, especially if you've made promises to yourself before and struggled to keep them. You start thinking, why should I believe myself this time? The answer isn't making bigger promises. It's about making smaller ones. Trust isn't built through dramatic declarations. It's built through evidence. Tiny acts of follow-through. For example, drinking the water you said you'd drink, taking the walk you planned, sending the email, reading the chapter, resting when you said you'd rest. Small consistency rebuilds confidence because every kept promise becomes proof. I can rely on myself. Compassion doesn't mean avoidance. It doesn't mean pretending everything is fine when it isn't. It means telling the truth without cruelty. So ask yourself, what's actually working? What isn't working? What's draining me? What's energizing me? What needs adjusting? What support do I need? Radical honesty allows intentional change. You cannot course correct from denial. But you also don't need to bully yourself into awareness. Gentleness and honesty can coexist. One reason people quit is because they build plans for ideal circumstances, The version of themselves who always has energy, never gets overwhelmed, never faces setbacks. But your goals should fit the life you're living now, not the fantasy version. Maybe right now, success looks like walking 3 times a week, posting 1 video, saving £5, cooking simple meals, applying for 2 opportunities. Progress isn't less valuable because it's smaller. Sustainable change respects capacity. I think all or nothing thinking ruins more goals than lack of motivation. You skip 1 workout and assume, what's the point? You fall behind and decide, I'll start again next month. But consistency isn't perfection. It's returning again and again. Missing 1 day doesn't erase your progress. Taking a detour doesn't destroy the journey. You don't need a perfect record. You just need to come back. Course correcting isn't only about changing plans. It's about reconnecting with identity. Ask yourself, who do I want to be in this season? Maybe you want to become someone who is adaptable, compassionate, disciplined, playful, courageous, grounded, intentional, patient. Then ask, what would that version of me do next? Not forever, just next. Because clarity often arrives through movement, not overthinking. If you've been hard on yourself lately, I hope you hear this. Needing to adjust your plans doesn't mean you're failing. Changing direction doesn't erase how far you've come. Outgrowing old goals doesn't make you inconsistent. Resting doesn't make you lazy. Starting again doesn't mean you're back at the beginning. You carry wisdom now that you didn't have before. You know more about yourself. You understand your needs differently. And that's valuable. Course correcting isn't evidence that you can't be trusted. It's evidence that you're paying attention to the reality of your life. And maybe this season isn't asking you to push harder. Maybe it's asking you to move forward with more honesty and less judgment. Okay. Here are your action steps. Conduct a gentle life audit. Ask yourself and answer honestly what's working, what's not, what needs adjusting. No criticism. Then choose 1 goal to simplify. Make it smaller. Make it more realistic. Build for your current capacity. Rebuild your self-trust. Keep 1 small promise to yourself today, then another tomorrow. Let consistency create evidence. Challenge the all or nothing thinking. Remember, missing 1 day isn't a failure. Returning matters more than perfection. Ask, what would support me right now? Not what would punish me into changing. Choose support. I hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.